As a disclaimer, some of our episodes discuss topics that may not be fit for a younger audience. Some episodes also contain some swearing. This show was produced by the Geek Happy Network, constantly curious about the things we love. If you enjoy listening to Represented, remember to subscribe to the show on YouTube or on your favorite podcast app. Remember to leave a review. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Previously on Represented,
they need some molding. I don't know who can go and talk to them. Need to see and figure out on how better you can do your music, because these guys need to stay for long. And if they continue doing this, and another thing is, I think they're also trying to compete with whoever is in the list by releasing any other song. And there was a way you can connect and, create a better transition of, the storyline of that music. I think I always feel like, their competitors will release more songs than them, so they keep on doing anything they feel like. It's a story about hashtag Wajinga Nyinyi. Let's release a story about Wajinga Nyinyi. Is it a story about Nganga sijui doing what?
Trendy. We have a lot of trendy music in Nairobi. Exactly. Or in Kenya. It's insane. Who are some of the, like for you personally, were there people in your life who mentored you or who are helping you right now in because you have your own journey, and so who are some of those people who are helping you make sense of it as you're going along?
Welcome to the Represented Podcast.
My name is Mick Narciso, and you are listening to the Represented Podcast.
What's up? My name is Robert Mudhama, aka Lucid.
Hi everyone, my name is Noni Rupia and you're listening to Represented Podcast.
A journey through the lives of everyday people such as yourself.
Check me out on episode 2 of season 1.
Listen to me on episode 9, season 1.
Episode 7 of season 1.
Happier and more like myself now, I feel.
It opened my eyes to why I think and feel the way I do.
And they inadvertently teach me how to be more creative.
And I'm excited to share that story.
Just a quick note about this second half of our conversation with DoubleM. Unfortunately, at the time of recording, we happened to lose the audio from his microphone, so the quality is lower, but do bear with us because this is a mistake that was made just for this episode. Definitely learned my lesson, so hoping to continue perfecting the process of producing this podcast so that we have a more seamless experience for all our listeners out there. But other than that, thank you so much for all the support. I hope you still enjoy our conversation. Please do continue to follow, like, share, support the podcast on all platforms. And all the best to everyone out there. Peace.
This is what I used to do, for real. I was looking for an internship at KTN, I didn't get one. So I got a very funny job at KTN. Do you know a full newspaper has inserts?
A full newspaper has inserts?
Yes.
What do you mean?
Like when you purchase a newspaper, like the Standard or Daily Nation, when you peruse through, in between there's what we call an insert. So an insert that either the Pulse.
Oh, okay, yes. Yeah, Crazy Monday, that type of thing.
Those inserts are placed by like human beings. Like it's not a machine that does that. So I wanted to get internship in KTN. So what I figured out is how can I get into this media and get internship or even try and get some look and mentor me in my career. So I went and faked my, okay, speaking of the which, as in the television is showing a full newspaper that was and they read my mind. Yeah. So I went to KTN and I spoke to one of the newspaper producers. That's what they call them. I don't know whether they have ranks and titles. So that guy was in charge of the whole newspaper and what have you. So I faked my interview that I wanted to see him. So from security, I told them I am going to see you, because I won't mention his name, but he was a very good gentleman. So I walked into the security. I told them I'm going to this office. I had never gone to his office. I only knew his name and title, so that's what I was using as an excuse to go and see him. So I got to the main studio, and then up, I got to security 1, 2, 3. I was telling them, no, I have an interview actually, I'm getting late, guys. And I was actually faking that, totally. It wasn't real. So I knew he would be at his desk at exactly 10 a.m. in the morning. So by 9:30, I was there. So I stayed there because where the newspaper office was just next to the television where KTN home then was broadcasted. Of course, even still now, it should be the same place. So I sneaked into television and saw guys doing their thing, because I used to love that. I said hi to some guys, and I knew 2 anchors. Of course, one of them wasn't as he is right now. His name is Lofty Matambo, and many others who were there. So I said hi to them. We're like, hey, what are you doing here, man? Nice to see you. So they thought I was at an internship or there's something I was doing there. I was like, I'm cool. So I left. Now I went to the office where I was going to see this gentleman. So when I sat there, I told him, hey, I just I think that was my second year in my undergrad. So I told him, you know what? I am sorry I didn't have an interview with you, but just please help me out. What I only want to do is I want to be in this media house. Just even if I'll be seeing, guys doing something on radio, TV, but is there anything that you give people to do? Even if I will be doing it for free, but at least I get something like,
some value,
something small. And then my intention was to create connections, not actually about money, but I had to bring that value, because in case if there was something, even if they pay me like 200 shillings, even if it's a day, I wouldn't mind. So fortunately, the guy was very intelligent, very humble, and what he told me, why would you want to do something here if you haven't finished school? Like, I just want to get somebody who can mentor me. I want to see how things in reality happen on television and on radio, because of course at school we do more of theoretical things and what have you. They teach you what a TriCaster is, what a microphone, what a boom is, but you've never seen those things. So me, I was like, I would want to continue studying, but I would also want to venture into reality and what you guys do. So he told me, I am sorry, for internship you would have to check another time or so forth, and so I was like, it's okay, I won't get the internship, but is there anything else I can do? So he told me, yes, there's something you can do, but I will have to call you. So what you need to do, leave your mobile phone number, I'll have to confirm. So what he was to confirm is this particular job I told you of, inserting, the power of the president.
The very serious job.
Yes, I was like, I don't mind, by the way. So good luck. He called me after, I think 4 hours or so. Then he told me, hey, Enoch, how are you doing? You came earlier in my office and I promised I'll call you. And you're lucky, there's one vacant position for you, because they were actually picking only 10. And these 10 were also supervising many other guys, because, those guys who come in the evening, they pick their IDs. That's how they used to pick them. Very many, but the 10 ones are the ones who must stay there, ensure the newspapers are neat. If we have any reject, you tell people to remove it, and then you have to print the areas where the newspaper will be dispatched and what have you. So I was pretty already doing but I was kind of supervising some guys, and then you print the labels for dispatch and what have you. So cutting the long story a little bit short, I took myself to KTN because I wanted to look for mentor, number 1. Number 2, I wanted to know what happens in real media, as compared to more of the theory, of course, we learn at school, and plus many other practicals that we do. Number 3, of course, create connections. So what worked for me there is connections. So 1, I didn't get a mentor, and 2, I did not even get the internship. So I stayed there for around 3 months, and that's when I knew many people. That's also came to learn about guys who were internship there, and then how they were not maybe paid well, or I wouldn't know, because I never went to the interviews and I don't know what the JD is, so I wouldn't tell maybe they're not paid or not paid, but from what they were telling me, they were just doing it, for free. So there's nothing they were getting from that. mentorship is an issue in Kenya. I don't know whether it's the same in the whole of Africa, but with Kenya, it's a very bad experience we have, because if you do not have somebody who can guide you and tell you, hey, this is what you ought to do, you can plan, you can practice, you can ABCD, I can take you somewhere. That is exactly what you need. I mean, you cannot wake up in the morning and start driving on the road if you didn't have somebody who could tell you, hey, here, what you need to do, keep left. I mean, here you ought to stop. Even if you went to school, a driving school, I mean, you need to practice somebody who is, a pro in that game. So us, that's what we lack. The same happens to in the music. I don't know why the musicians feel like these upcoming artists will, overdo them and then they will shine even better than them. But of which I think that narrative changed when Gengeton Now was a hit. So people felt like, by the way, these guys are going far. So we better agree. Because I remember even Diamond himself, the Tanzanian artist, at some time he said, if you want a collab with me, 800,000 is the minimum that I can do with you. That's what he said. At some time I remember very well. So if you say him, he was actually maybe mentor. Maybe he never... Okay, I would like to say maybe he never got a mentor.
I have a question for you, because this is something I've talked about with my brother before. Why does how did Tanzania get it? Because it seemed for some time like Kenya was ahead of all our neighbors.
It was
then Tanzania just suddenly shot up, and now they have a factory of these
Fantastic.
guys.
So this is in regards to mentorship. Actually, me, I would relate it to mentorship, because look at what Diamond Platnumz has done. He has a production music studio, I would call it, known as Wasafi. So this is what he did. All the artists he signed, of course, one, to make them his label, because he is already a hit in the world. So if anytime you hear this is Wasafi, you're not like, oh, Wasafi for Diamond. You see? So that one is already giving them a platform. Anywhere else they'll go, they'll know that this is a Diamond, in quotes, this is the mentor.
Yeah, stamp of approval.
Exactly. So what Diamond did, and many other maybe artists over there, like the likes of Alikiba, I believe they're also mentoring guys, but Wasafi really got it correct. They took Akinamboso, who actually banned dancers, and then noticed that they have a voice. And those guys are on top. Akina Harmonize went for an audition where he was told his voice was pathetic.
Wow.
And he actually flopped in that audition and he left.
Wow. Maybe
this is the time Diamond Platnumz saw what he was doing and brought him to the studio.
And now he's as big a star as Diamond right now.
So that's what we like in Kenya.
Yeah. But it seems as though when you mentioned Wasafi, I feel like maybe the one place I can say we've kind of gotten it right is someone like Churchill, who seems to bring up other comedians. Yeah.
Now in comedy, at least we'll say by the way, we already have a platform, because this is what Churchill did. Churchill in his times, of course, comedy was not as accepted as it is right now. But then he tried to figure out what he can do, and then he got into NTV. Because I remember when I attended his celebration at 40, him getting to 40, of course, plus his comedy and many other things. What he said at first is, there is no any media house would accept his episodes on what they were doing during their times when they shoot their comedy. And guys were like, who would want to listen to this or watch this? But NTV became, that kind of media that accepted what they were doing, and they gave them a chance. One at a time, they became something that everybody will be waiting for every Sunday. Now what he did not just do it himself. He thought he would bring guys, he would do auditions and bring guys as well, who would also, add some appetite on not just Churchill.
Yeah, you need a variety.
But the Komoni, the everybody, all those guys.
Yeah.
He gave them a platform. Remember, this Amelia House that has more than 3 million views within some time. And what happened? People will come. People started liking the whole thing. So give them a platform, and trust you me, almost all these comedians that Churchill mentored, as much as people also say that he doesn't pay them well, they are all working in the media house. And you know how much they're paying? How much? One of them was paid 200,000 shillings.
Wow.
For appearing in the morning and making that little noise of like, guys, with the change of accent, bro, 200,000 coming from Churchill, and that is where you are, and you're earning 200,000. Actually, he's earning more than news directors.
Yeah.
And producers.
Wow.
I can tell you, it's so pathetic to know somebody who just used the small talent is earning triple that you're earning, and for you went for so many degrees that you see.
And now I see why we don't help one another. Because now you just said it. It's like this guy who just came, yapped a little, is earning triple.
And then for you, sitting there like,
yeah, with your
nigga,
suit, you're in a
yeah,
suit,
man.
9 to 5 every day.
That's the thing.
Man, that's
so,
crazy.
Well, I would understand why people would want to do that, but it's a narrative we need to
Yeah,
stop.
no, everyone deserves a chance
Yeah,
to like put their thing out there.
Mhm.
What are some of do you have any new projects you are envisioning right now for 2020 or?
Yeah, all right. Okay, thank God I survived. I thought, after quitting the band, I'll literally go broke,
Yeah,
and so far
yeah.
I'm like, I'm
You're still
there,
alive, yeah. That moment is always really nice when you're like, oh, okay, you quit your job, you don't die.
Quit
Okay.
the band.
Yeah.
Your mom, your dad, your bro, and everybody's like,
Are you mad?
are you mad? You quit the band.
Now you're triple M, you're mad.
Your man must
Yeah.
Wait, so this was my toughest moment ever, and I don't know how that decision came, but sometimes you feel enough is enough. You just want to get out of that comfortable shell.
Yep.
So I threw it away and said, like, let me do it. So, one, because I knew I'm finishing my master's in digital communication, I knew I would get some time now to start doing what I wanted to do. So, what I thought and what I'm actually doing right now is to really create connections with whoever it is. And I've noticed nowadays it's not about the skills, it's not about the papers you have. The number of connections you have will really push you far away.
Yeah.
Because if you literally know who the head of something is, and you know who is the owner of ABCD,
And cut the line, yeah.
trust you me, somebody will come with a suit,
Yeah.
they'll walk that way, and the
Yeah.
guys will like, excuse me,
Yeah.
can I speak with him first a minute before we talk to you? Because you knew that person. You create a good rapport. So that is number one thing that I'm trying to
Your
do.
network
Just create
is your
rapport
network.
with, yes, networking. So one, I would like to create my portfolio in terms of, yes, I really do digital, but I really don't envy getting into, the social media platform mostly.
Okay.
I don't know, I feel kind of insecure, and it's not really, to me, it's not very ethical to be showing what you're doing every day.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. There's that. Now that's also when you asked me before we started about how much I post. For me, the way I see it is similar, where I'm at that crossroads where I closed my personal account a while ago, and now I'm sticking to just the podcast one. And even with the podcast one, I'm like, who cares? Like, why should I post all this? And it's like, but everyone who is making anything off social media will tell you need to post every single day. Yeah.
You need to. I mean, look at the people who actually even post nothing. Like, they just landed in a hotel and they're there with selfies, and the guys are getting almost 100,000 plus.
Yeah.
It's like, what is it that somebody created? Yeah. I mean, you're in the swimming pool, you're already taking a photo. Just some, I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, this is what I
It's
hate.
a lot of
but
access.
This is what I hate, but I have no option. This is where the new media now, separates from who is who and who is not. Because one challenge I'll be having is, and maybe I'll be going for these interviews for the mainstream, because that's what I like to venture into next year. And then they'll be asking, what's your social media platform? They'll find there's nothing. They're like, so what are you bringing on the table? And it's also a misperception that if I'm not viral on social media, then
You're
nothing I
worthless.
have.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
That's also a bad side of it.
It's another narrative people need to change, right? It's not like if I'm not on social media, then I can't do anything. You bring me on that microphone and tell me whatever to do. I'll just perfect my game and I'll do it. But when you expect me to be so high, I really don't like it. But anyway, I had to open social media platform.
Yeah.
I'm on Instagram
Yeah.
as DoubleM254 on Twitter as well. But if you just go and see on Twitter, I am
Not as active.
no, but Instagram I'm trying, because now the only way is to create connections with these people. And the other thing is, even the artists, when I want to do an interview with them, they tell me, what do you call yourself?
Oh yeah.
On
They
social media,
ask,
where
yeah.
Then they go social media like, nigga, you're not even at house. So who are you? Then
Yeah.
you start putting a question there.
I feel like also some of that is unnecessary today, because I think there's limits to how much that should affect what you think about someone.
I know.
Because if you're giving, for example, like you guys are giving the artist the platform, you're however many followers you have, even if you had 100, it's like that's 100 more than they would have spoken to, So it's like people shouldn't be so stuck on this guy has 1,000, this guy has 500.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's one challenge, of course, I have, and that's if you ask me about my plans and my projects, so these are the things I want to, kind of, resolve in my life because, well, I have to be on social media. So I have my personal account of which I don't know whether I've ever posted anything, because I remember when we were doing one of the classes at USIU, and that was our social media strategy. I had to reopen an account that I had opened in 2011. It had my baby face when I was in I think after high school. Yeah. And it was like, hey guys, guys were checking their accounts. Hey, send me, I follow you. And when I was, requesting for followers, she was like, "No, is this you?" I'm like, "That's the only account I have, guys. Come on."
Yeah.
I had to reopen those accounts, for which I never actually even posted any content after all. So later on, I came to notice that I need an account because this is where you can communicate with artists. This is where you can communicate with anybody who would like to know what you're doing. Yeah, because somebody also somewhere in Capital FM told me, "Eno, I need your promo. But I want to check your social media platform." I'm like, why would you want to go there first? Can't I just do the promo? Like, man, so these guys are trying already now to kick me out of that, kind of interview because, yes, nigga, you're doing nothing. See what Akina they are doing, Akina Suji or Tile Brown, and everybody who just, somehow they feel like when they're in the swimming pool, they have to put something. So, well, so one is to really create connections. Network a lot because I know that's what will really help me in the future. Because if I go to an interview and I find somebody who knows you, that's when they're like, "Ah, this is the guy." Or maybe they can just have something in mind like, yes, he can do it as much as he's not viral on social media. Number two, of course, was me to finish now my project for masters. Because when I finish, then I'll have known what to do next. Because after that graduation, now you're free to mingle and say, hey, do I still go back for money in the bank or now do I follow my path? Number three, well, as much as I would say I would have wanted a bit of a rest from that employment and start doing my own things, create content for either companies or whoever it is, even if it's the artist. Because one thing I wanted to do is, I feel like I also want to assist these upcoming artists in terms of giving them what social media strategy they can use online. So how do you communicate to your fans? So what I do, I tell them I will create a poster myself. I will post it. I'll tag you. Make sure you also try and tag your friends and share it anywhere. Because number one, that's how you're gonna market yourself. Because you come with one video, nobody has ever watched it. I have never watched it myself. So I'm playing it for the very first time on radio. I don't even know what it is because I've literally checked and I'm like, I want to support you. So how can we, make you also have that first step on how you can move to, other places. So number one is to use this artist. If some of them are willing that they can come and we partner together, I tell them this is what I can do. And as well as now, when I know they already have content, it's easy for me now to call even, Akina William to tell the guys, there is this artist who perform very well. He has content. Can you guys give him a platform? Because now that is a mainstream and it has better viewership and more so. That's actually what I did. There's one artist by the name Noble Africa. I think it's a name that he rebranded from his previous name that I can't remember what he was calling himself. But when he came to the studio, he was really begging for an interview somewhere else. So he was begging for an interview in a mainstream, like Citizen, KTN, and NTV. So he kept on telling me, please help me get another platform like this. I know I've been speaking with these guys, but it's like they haven't even responded to me. I was like, yes, they're busy. What we can do, you come to my interview, let's shoot something. So we actually did a small video. We brought a real video editor. I think he should be a producer for music. He came to the studio. So he took bit of when we were doing the interview. Trust me, the next week on Monday, he was called a student for an interview. So those are some of my, kind of strategies I would like to use to help these upcoming artists and give them out. If I am able, that I can create my networks and help them also climb the ladder higher. Well,
why not?
We can do for each other. Yes.
Yeah. So far in all this and all these transitions and thoughts you've put into things, what have been some of the key lessons that you've learned about maybe yourself or media as a whole? What should people keep their eye on in general?
All right. Number one, you really need to stand out on what you're doing. it's not been easy even for me to get renowned artists or even any artist for an interview. One key note that I actually have to even put on my hood is great connections.
Okay.
Even on any hood I'm gonna print, I think I just great connections.
Yeah.
You really need to stand out. You need to stand out for yourself. All the things that you do for your life, you just need to just do them fully with passion and confidence, and that's the only way you can make it. Otherwise, if you go there and do your shorty thing and you're like, I'm not paid, I'm tired, I'm bored, you never stand out.
Yeah.
People see you on the crowd, but you need to shout. Anything that is good for you, shout it out. People hear you, they're like, who is that? That's the only way people in the room can notice that somebody's making noise. Who is that? What kind of noise? Then you do something good, they're like, yeah, that guy can do it.
I remember a conversation we had when you were the day you interviewed my brother, and you were talking about some of your schooling experience that happened in Uganda. Could you just talk a bit about that? Because I feel like that has something to do with your journey as well.
All right. So my dad and my family, all of them, I think, loved Makerere University.
Oh, Makerere.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So when I was almost finishing high school, when I finished high school, I had to go to UG because when you join any university in Uganda, you must do A level. So A level must be from 5 and from 6. So I left for Uganda because I wanted to go to Makerere University. So I went to a school known as London College of St. Lawrence, a very good school. It really nurtured me, by the way. I really appreciate on what the impact they had on my.
What kind of impact did they have?
One, those guys kind of nurtured, and this is what we used to do. Actually, started doing this while I was in Uganda. So our normal assemblies or meetings in the mornings are not as, I don't know, as the compared to Kenyan, whereby we just go and stand, the headmaster speaks, or the principal says, hey, we had ABCD, guys will be chased home for school fees and whatever, and it ends. No, in Uganda, what happens is we have sections. So number one section is anybody who feels they can perform, like a cover song. You just come and do your thing. You get on the podium and then you present, you perform your cover song, and the guys are like, wow. The next, if you can dance, that's another opportunity. So they are given like 10 minutes each for everything. Then now we begin news. So for those people who feel like they have a talent for news or anything, they'll come and so I used to do sports news, and I used to do international sport news and Kenyan sport news because of course we came from Kenya, so I have to remind my guys.
So is that kind of where the beginning stages of your ideas for what to do came from?
Not really.
Or not really, okay.
My dad, my biological dad, I say my biological dad because I actually have 2 dads.
Oh, okay.
So my biological dad was kind of journalist. He did print media.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
so he actually did his studies in Germany and Britain when he was doing his studies. So he got some good skills in print media and he used to write speeches for the government and many other things, of course, that he did. That is his career, though that's where I think I borrowed the whole thing from. So he used to, when I was growing up, I used to see what he would do, the publishing, newspaper, what. So I would always take a newspaper and read it. I would tell me, hey, read for me. So I would read and tell me, hey, you really read that so clearly. But when I would get into a name, a word that I wouldn't pronounce well, like some semantics I wouldn't read well, I would tell me, hey, let me just check it out. Then, because I will get stuck, I'm like, I can't read. So it's like I used to have that consciousness, like you're live somewhere and you cannot read what you don't know. Someone has to confirm. Or now you see now live when you're on TV, your producer or your director tell you, hey, skip that or do ABCD. So that direction is like the conscious used to have when I was growing up. So even at church then, we used to have, like when you're having camps or these sorts of missions, we used to hide in the podium and do a radio, like news summary for everything. That was way back when I was young, like 5 years, 6 years, 10 years. So guys used to call me a church radio presenter.
Okay.
That's what they used to call me. So I think it's something that I've been having ever since I was. It's only that, like we said, if I had a mentor,
it would have been.
I'll be somewhere.
Than
no, that's where I am right now.
That's crucial because it seems like it was obvious where your eyes were set at such a young age. So all you needed was that person who's like, oh, I see this guy is going a particular direction. Let me.
It's like now when you see Citizen TV and many other stations doing feature stories about young kids who have the confidence, who can, like what Citizen brought the other time. A small gentleman who had, faked the microphone, written Citizen, and was kind of reporting from the bush.
Oh.
Yeah, you remember that story?
Yeah. I think I saw the one for the kid who did Jeff Koinange. That's the one I've seen.
There's one and there's another one who did another kind of story like for Nimro Tabu as well. So there are many. So if that was my time, then you see I would have gotten a platform maybe to showcase what I can do and so forth. So lucky for the upcoming and this generation that we have social media for them where you can post something and someone will say, hey, I'm old enough not to start doing some crazy small things of course that can show me or can showcase what I have. But now Uganda was also another platform. So I would read news. I would do news every day in the morning. I would go and write and come and read. So
you're doing prep, you're doing the whole thing.
Exactly, I was doing the whole thing. And then we are not even really gotten into the concept of what happens in university, because that was still A level. A level in Uganda is still considered as still high school. But now preparing you in a mature way so that you can get into university. So that one was also another platform that really helped me to know what I want to do in life. Because standing in front of more than I think 1,000 or something students,
wow,
and you have the confidence of reading news for 10 minutes, it's something you created.
Yeah.
I mean, it started giving me that, confidence on when you're on the microphone. That's you need to project your voice. You don't need to shout. You need to, the media ethics and so forth. That was another journey that really guided me on what to do.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. And I mean, I wish you all the best with everything else. And it's been interesting to connect and get like a view of how you guys do things. So I don't think I've been to a radio station before. That was my first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, being like insider. Yeah. That was pretty cool. I really appreciated it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
You're welcome anytime.
Yeah, man.
You can come and see what we are doing there.
For sure. I'm very open to like checking more things
out. You can come
out.
and we do an interview on what you always do on your podcast as well, because that's the only way we can also help you, get somebody to know what you're doing in the studio.
Yeah, I'd love that. Yeah, that would be pretty awesome.
That's good.
Yeah. So I mean, in the spirit of working together, I hope anyone who's listened to this has gotten some value out of everything DoubleM has been talking about, because there's very many layers to the conversation and there's so many things we can always learn from everyone. And again, with that mentorship thing, I really hope that that's something we can figure out as a nation, because that's a big pain point.
It's another virus, corruption.
Yes, it's one of those big ones. It's on our Mount Rushmore of problems as Kenyans. But thank you very much for joining us in the studio.
Thank you so much for inviting me as well. It's been a great experience. And this seems to be my second podcast I'm doing as well.
Oh, nice. Okay, nice. Yeah. Glad to have had a chance to.
Most, man. It looks awesome, and I believe people should be listening to what you're doing here, because you are so dedicated as well to what you're doing.
Yeah.
And this is why people should be listening to such talks. You never know.
Yeah.
What people will tell and what people are sharing is very important to the listener out there. You never know. This is the time you can also connect to what I've been through, and you're listening and you're also stuck. You ought to know what you can do.
100%.
Maybe this is the time somebody listening and he hasn't been doing what we are urging them to do. This is the time that they need to wake up and do something better.
Yep.
Yeah.
That being said, thank you for listening. This has been DoubleM with USIU Radio, and he's been on the Represented podcast now, finally, for the first time. And looking forward to having you again in the future.
Anytime, bro.
Yeah. All the best, man.
Thank you so much.
If you'd like to get in touch with the Represented podcast, feel free to hit up at Represented Podcast on Instagram or email us at representedpodcast@gmail.com. This show is hosted and created by myself, Kanyeki Kamawe. Editing by Lucid and myself. Video directed by James Kamawe. Video editing by myself, Kanyeki Kamawe. Intro music by Lucid and Mari Narciso.